Today's guest, first off, the host of Comedy Film Nerds, host of Political Vigilante, the podcast, director of Earbuds, the podcasting documentary featuring Keith and the Girl. Very exciting. Featured on VH1, The Late Late Show. Graham Elwood.
Hello.
How you doing, Graham?
It's so great to be here. I was just reminiscing. It was 5 years ago that we shot Earbuds in this very location.
Yes.
And then we released it. The movie came out 2 years ago. So it's been, I'm filled with such fond memories of doing Earbuds and the whole experience.
We've never been the same.
I know.
You put something fantastic together. In fact, when I was dating, I would put it in my DVD player and just turn the TV on like it was a random show. And these girls would watch it. And I never played it and not got laid. So thank you.
I applaud you, sir. When I used to host a game show called Strip Poker, and I was in a bar knowing when it was on at night because they played it late night, I'd ask the bartender, "Can you turn that on?"
Right.
And then I'd just be hanging out, and cute girls go, "Oh my God, is that you? Oh shit, is that on TV? Oh, wow, so weird." Yeah, I work out. Anyway,
joining us is Graham's buddy, host of the streaming news show Get Your News On with Ron, featured on the Jimmy Dore Show, The Young Turks. His album out is called Agnostic Holiday. Ron Placone. How you doing? How's it going, Ron?
I'm doing wonderful. Good to be here.
You both are very politically active, right?
yeah, that's our vibe.
Yeah.
And it makes me think, why? Because is anybody listening? Do you know what I mean? Like I listen to your podcasts, I listen to your shows, but when you look at the world out there, I don't know if your shows are just for entertainment, because nothing's helping. And nothing's working.
If you wanted to be validated, Ron, about all the work you're doing, I think you came through the wrong door. This is no. All joking aside, I do have days where I feel like, does it matter? Like everything's going belly up. But I don't know. We've been doing this, progressive comedy tour stuff for like a year now, and we've been on Jimmy Dore, and we've met all these people of all. Progressives are like every walk of life, every ethnicity, every age group, every socioeconomic status, everything, and people. I think people are kind of like. My thinking is like, I don't like Donald Trump. I think he needed to happen. I think it was like an alcoholic needed to hit rock bottom. And I think America needed to kind of hit rock bottom and go, all right, our whole system is broken.
That's a very interesting point of view, because it's interesting to compare it to rock bottom, because I do believe that alcoholics need to hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
We keep sort of lifting them up. But I think America has been at rock bottom.
Yeah, maybe we've been flatlining for a while.
Especially when they're like, "Make America Great Again." It's like, can you point out what year that is?
Yeah, when was it great? The Japanese internment camps, or when women didn't have the right to vote? Was
Right.
it slavery? Is that when it was great?
Kenda has a great point. What I think your guys' problem is America is trying to show you, don't tell me what to do. Instead of just ignoring America until it wakes up.
Yeah, America's like, just go to Al-Anon, you bitch.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't,
America wants us to hit rock bottom. Is that maybe what you're referring to? Because I don't think Donald Trump is at rock bottom.
Well, no, the ruling class, and I firmly believe there's not two political parties in this country. There's two classes. There's the billionaires and all of us, and they have been sticking it to us for decades. Six ways from Sunday.
Billionaires and podcasters.
God damn it. You guys sitting on your
Which
mountain.
side of the fence are you on?
Yeah, record everything.
Yeah, we are as bad as billionaires. But so that's what I think. I think the people have been, the ruling class, the billionaires have been sticking it to everybody for decades.
Right.
And
I think it's just on TV now, because TV is the computer.
Yeah.
I think we've always been, it's like asking any marginalized group, why are you mad? It's like, well, you just know I'm mad now.
you just heard about it.
Yeah, you just heard about it. I've been living in this state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like that's a great example. Like, cops have been doing this for a while. Now there's cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
So now we're just seeing what they've done for a long time.
Yeah, and if you go back even in comedy, if you hear a lot of huge black comics talking about what's happening with the cops or neighborhoods or whatever, they've been saying this 20 years ago,
Yes.
40 years ago, whenever. Now we're like, oh my God, you were serious.
That wasn't just like a skit.
Oh my God, I just thought you were black. I don't know.
Well, I do.
Can I touch your hair?
And you see this a lot with the documentaries coming out. It does seem like and I mean this in a good way. on the Democrat side at least, and maybe on both sides. There's definitely an extremism, and I like that. I feel like we need that. Is there a difference, the new young people, or does this happen every go around?
What do you mean?
Your AOCs, your
Oh, I think she's like, we haven't had somebody like her in a while. I think that was again a result of Trump was like woke a lot of people like, I got to get involved. Like she was like, I was waiting tables, she was like a supporter of Bernie and went, okay, I'm jumping in. I'm done with this. And I think there's more people that got motivated. Like if you watch that movie Knock Down the House that she's featured in, you see just a lot of people like, we've met a lot know like Amy Vallejo, who's in that movie. We met her when we did a show in Vegas.
Name drops.
I know a progressive candidate that lost. No, but I mean, like it's people I think are like, and I put myself in this category. I wasn't, while I voted for Obama twice, I wasn't paying that much attention. And I think a lot of people went, wait a minute, the whole system is broken. We need to pay way more attention to what's going on. And I think
that's been happening, and you can see it because people are voting in non-presidential elections.
Yes. Yeah.
So all these other random little ones, and I call them random little ones because I have no idea what's going on. But you saw lines, and you saw like big voter turnouts and things that like I honestly did not even know it existed. I didn't know how many times we can vote. I didn't know it was this many times.
Well, I think, too, like, people are realizing that the status quo needs to shift some. We're in an anti-establishment time. That's part of the reason Trump is doing his thing. He sold this kind of anti-establishment lie, and he's kind of breaking some of the traditional status quo rules. Like, hey, you probably shouldn't turn a debate into a measuring contest, literally. But he did it, and then he won anyway. So I think now we are seeing this new wave on the left of people saying, hey, the status quo needs to change. We need to go for actual progressive policies instead of just business as usual.
But doesn't it feel like Keith was saying in the beginning, yes, we're seeing things, all this stuff, but it doesn't feel like we're moving anywhere. It feels like another wave. Like, didn't this also happen in the 60s and 70s where now all of a sudden we were seeing footage of war for the first time? A lot of firsts, a lot of like, oh, we didn't know. Oh, we just thought like you came with no arm because like you used a saw wrong. You know what I mean? So it's just like another wave of feminism, another way of.
We're not trying to get you guys to leave here crying. We're really asking.
Ron, cancel the tour. We have made an egregious error. No, it's a valid. You guys bring up very valid points. I think.
Thank you.
Because, like, again, all of this stuff did come up 30, 40 years ago. The Vietnam War was the first war that was on TV, and people went, "Oh, wow." And I think.
Wait, you guys are going and doing something with those guys?
Oh, what's going on?
Why do you wear helmets?
Can all you wear is green? But I think now, again, I use the term the ruling class has learned from that, and that's why there's 6 multinational conglomerates that own 95% of all media, so they are controlling the message.
Oh, so do you think like abusers, the more we tell them, the more we feed into the system, like this is how you abuse us now. Like we're not tolerating this, so now you adjust, and like so now they can put out like what sounds like a progressive thought, but really it's more propaganda for their side.
Yes. Like you have.
You guys make me sound so smart. I'm like, what are we even talking about?
That was very eloquent. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
But like the left, there isn't as strong of an anti-war movement because they've been very sophisticated at getting this propaganda that you're talking about. That makes people like, oh, maybe we should invade. Like Iran is the new one. Oh, maybe we should. And it's like, no. And I think what's happening, what is different in my mind, at least, between now and like the 60s and 70s there is the internet. So you do, if you spend the time, have access to different ideologies and information. You have to go outside of the corporate media. I don't care what you watch, MSNBC or Fox or whatever. They have their side of the propaganda coin, just like 2 professional wrestlers, in my opinion, or Coke or Pepsi, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, so, like no matter what their new views are, they're going to be on this line of thinking.
Yeah.
And because they just keep doubling down on, and that's not thoughts. That's just regurgitating what you want to be the truth already. And so we can't rely on any of that.
Have you had guys?
Yeah, they're not news agencies when
No.
you really break it down, because it's like their owners just create a conflict of interest immediately. So they're just public relations agencies. So as a result, there's certain places they just won't go. And because of the internet, we knew what was going on with Dapple. We know what's going on, at least to some degree, with Flint. We'd be clueless about all that stuff if we just had to rely on cable news.
Do you have a crisis of faith every so often when you do? You look into this obviously more than I do, so you must see more corruption than I do. But when I come across a story of New York's mayor here in New York City, I'm reading a story about the book place, The Strand. It's a popular book place here in New York City. And it's going to be named a historical landmark. And you're like, okay, good. That's all I knew about it. Well, the owner is like, no, when it's a historical landmark, you now have to comply with these certain building codes. And guess what? The mayor got a donation from the place that's going to be in charge of these building codes.
Shocking.
And a $10,000 gift back in the day is now going to be worth $1 million that some bookstore owner's going to have to figure out. I don't know. I'd read. I'm surprised you guys didn't kill yourselves. You know what I mean?
So they're screwing over the bookstore? Is
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
okay.
For me personally, I can't speak for Ron. I do have the.
Could you though?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Ron.
That's what I sound like most
Every day. We're in the train together. It's crazy. No, for me, I do have these crisis phases every once in a while because I go, man, it seems like it's insurmountable. And when I read about what's happening with the environment, I go, man, that's what was not the factor back in the 60s is we have this very severe ticking clock. Like the UN just put out a report saying if we don't drastically turn things around by 2050, it's over. Right. So that stuff makes me go, But then I'm already, I see more people getting involved. Just my YouTube channel has doubled in the last year, and I see more people.
That's all that matters.
Hey, baby, make it rain, Patreon.
Spread the word.
But I feel like more people are paying attention. More people are wanting to get involved. More like Hemdi, you're talking about. People are showing up. They're standing room only at town hall meetings. People are like getting people, and so that's the thing I have faith for. And I guess I just sort of take this approach of like, well, the human race is going to fix itself, or it's going to go away.
I haven't been into. Well, you know what? You're
there's
right.
High school kids protesting for climate change and stuff now. I mean,
I've never been in a rally before in my life till recently. I haven't been at a protest in my life till recently. So yeah, sure, something's happening. I see it in the mirror.
Yeah, and I think again, Ron brings up that like high school kids are like going, whoa, they're crunching the numbers going, I'm going to be in my late 30s or 40s when the climate completely collapses. Right. We're doing something today.
Wow, Ron is saying some cool shit. We should let him talk.
No, I mean, that was just, I was starting on that. Like
Take it away, Ron.
Well, when I was in high school, the only...
Anyway, what I was saying was... No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's just that kind of stuff gives me hope. I mean, when I was in high school, the only, quote, political opinion I had was I didn't like Tipper Gore because she wanted us to have the parental advisory stickers on music. And I was a big music fan.
Turned out to be, like, way against her. Like, it backfired.
It's every album I bought.
Yeah, it totally did. Yeah, it totally did. But I was mad about that. I was like, oh, that's censorship. And, so that was the only opinion I had. And then I would just, ride a skateboard and play in a little garage band and try to. But these kids, they're standing up for climate change. They're walking out of classrooms. It's pretty.
Can you guys have sex with somebody who doesn't vote? They're hot as fuck.
No.
Okay.
I couldn't do it.
It would depend on the reason.
Because the reason is it's all bullshit. Now, could you?
I could. I mean, I could respect that.
Well, that's a great point. If they
Think about this. Hate fucking.
I put a ballot in their asshole, hit them from the front.
You ever want to hit someone's ass so hard, but you're like, not you. Maybe you.
You guys bring up really valid points. I mean, this is the kind of political discourse we need to have to really solve things. This is what makes a thriving democracy.
We need to make it relatable.
Ron's like one of these guys. Would I go back and kill Hitler? No, I train him and teach him as if it's worth the risk. Okay, I'll sleep with her, but then I'll explain the nuances of.
I'll talk about the joys of voting locally.
Right.
That's where you have more power.
Yes.
That's
Hey, what do we think about? Of course, there was another cop video that went viral. The one I'm thinking of right now was a black woman leaving a store with her daughter. The daughter carried a Barbie out without paying for it. The cops pull out the guns. White cops, surprised, pull out the guns on the black woman, yelling, threatening her. Everything caught on tape. Did the cops die? Do we wish?
Let's say you had an eyelash in your finger now, and you blow on it. Would that be your wish?
Right. I think we all think cops should be held to a higher standard. I don't see why it's not the death penalty, and I don't think I'm exaggerating. Get out of the fucking car. Fuck you. Do what I fucking say. It's a power trip. After putting all the stories together, I can't help but assume these cops are racist. I think it should be the death penalty. Never mind being fired.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a big leap. I don't know that I would go.
See, this is the thing. We don't take these big leaps. They do, and it's time to make that stop.
Right.
Yeah. Well, if
I'm telling you, I'm into this extreme stuff.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, no, I made a mistake that one day. This guy's going to take a sensitivity class. They're done. Their lives are over.
This is tough because to me obviously this is on such a bigger level. Like if you what's his name? Something Malcolm, the tipping point.
Gladwell.
Yeah. So he.
No,
so
they've put in 10,000 hours of racism. I believe that. It's not a one-time thing.
And that's the thing. So we all put in for racism. This country is racist.
Yeah.
Like we teach racism a lot. We teach it on TV. We teach it on the internet. We teach it in all our interactions. So you can't undo that just because somebody has a badge or is walking down the street or lives amongst one or two other people who don't look like them. So he talks about how there is a test and people's faces come up, like a black person, a white person, whatever it is, and you're supposed to say which, on the left or the right, which one is the one that you trust more, some kind of like trust test. I'm saying this completely wrong, but the idea is that you can stay you should be able to stay neutral, but everyone charges the black face with being more, and including
Black cops.
black people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, sure.
So he took it himself, and he was also biased. Like you just automatically click it because we are teaching ourselves and we're teaching each other that these faces are more menacing. They're more angry seeming. They're more offensive. They will attack you more. We just know that. Even if we're not racist, we are dating other people and we are, inviting people into our homes. It is ingrained in us. And for people to go like, no, there's no racism. We live amongst each other. Like New York is it literally is the most diverse in this country. And we still have people pulling this shit. It's because it's ingrained in us. And I think that's why the first step is to admit we're racist.
Yeah, I think America should just go, yes, we're racist. We were born on genocide and slavery. We got to just own that and have that conversation and say it out loud.
It's the same thing as, expecting an alcoholic to their first step is I'm an alcoholic.
Yes.
Why? So that you can't deny what comes with that. You can't deny the choices that you make come from this line of thinking that is overpowering the rest of your logic. Why are you going for that piece of cake already? Like when you're full, what's happening in your brain that has been pushed on you since before you were born?
I would like to see a follow-up, though, not just of these cops specifically. Did they get fired or not? Or are they on probation? I want to know, is their wife fucking their friends now? But do they still have a cohesive family unit and a woman that can respect them? I'm curious about that, the minor stuff.
Well, I think we still go.
Are they in the bowling league? I'm curious about, like you say, local. Think local.
Right? There you go.
Always
There
think
you
local.
go.
That's
There
a
you go.
great point.
Does their mail get lost?
Well, when it comes to law enforcement, we've gone about it the completely right way, or wrong way, excuse me. Like, we've gone about it the completely wrong way. Everyone always, whenever something happens, whenever another horrific incident happens, they're like, well, it's just some bad apples. And it's like, no, we have a systemic problem going on in law enforcement. Being like, well, it's just a couple bad apples. That would be like there's an E. coli outbreak, and you're like, here's a good piece of lettuce. I found one. So they're not all bad. Like, no, it's a systemic issue, so it needs a systemic solution.
Well, you see those little blurbs. I think it's called This Now that comes on your Twitter feed. They're like, let's save the font and theme because this is going to happen again. Yeah, it's always happened.
Yeah,
Of course.
So you need to reevaluate like how these cops are recruited, how they're trained, how they go through everything, how they're screened.
Not to mention PTSD. So I have a friend of
Yeah.
me who just retired from being a cop, and he's like, Graham, they do not address PTSD. So somebody goes out and goes through some awful stuff, gunfire, sees a partner get shot, whatever, and then it's just like, suck it up. And then a routine traffic stop, somebody reaches for his wallet because you asked him to, and you think gun, and you pull and draw because you're freaked out because you're on PTSD. And it's like, that's not being treated.
And even before that, who was the one who was only reaching for his wallet for his ID and got gunned down by two policemen?
Who's the one?
Yeah, I know, that's the thing. So again, Malcolm Gladwell broke that down, and it's the cops that are trained, they're not trained for this quick response. They're trained like, here's your gun, here's how it works, here's your bat. Like, it's very, if you train on a higher level where they do get shot at so that they know what, like a quick response, they know what that feeling is. The next time they have to respond in an extreme situation, time slows down more. This is too quick. So you think someone's reaching for a gun, you're shooting because you're a human being, because you don't know what it's like to be in a shootout. All you've seen is movies where people are shooting for a long time, there's duck and cover. This took 3 seconds. 3 seconds, and the cops didn't even know what happened because they went into a blackout because they're not trained enough for this kind of thing. Yeah. And they're not in the neighborhoods that they're policing. So you can't police something that you don't know because you don't recognize what actually is happening. You don't recognize people's movements if you're not around them.
Not to mention, go ahead, Rob.
Well, I was going to say, like, one of the solutions that's out there, getting to what you're saying, where it's like they don't know the neighborhoods, like one of the proposals out there to try to start to seek a solution, which is really promoted by a guy named Michael Wood, who used to be a cop in Baltimore, is to have kind of civilian-led policing, where like civilians and the police, they kind of like orchestrate law enforcement together, so civilians really have a say in how the police operate. Well, it would be like there'd be councils and there'd be oversight and there'd be, like different positions that would kind of report to the community at large as this is what we want our police to do. This is how we want them to operate. This is how we want them to treat somebody when they have to pull them over, when they have to, apprehend somebody for whatever reason, when there's a traffic violation and what have you.
So right now, if a cop, what happened in this mall, the cop they review it and investigate it within the department. So what Ron's talking about, this Michael Wood guy is saying we would have a civilian, I'm not a cop, a group of civilians who are not cops, not beholden to the police department.
And we kill them.
Love it. I think
the first tool is a guillotine in the middle of City Hall. And
I come in with an axe. Act locally!
I think every place of work would want that. You know what I mean? Like sexual harassment in the workplace. You don't want the HR person from that company to deal with this because the HR person is on the side of their job in that company. And a lot of times they will fuck over the actual employee because it's just the rules set so that the company can keep going. So
yeah, HR is not for the employee.
No.
It's not to help anybody out. And I think too, going to
there are some, but it's
Sure.
like the cops. Yes, the cops will help you some, but ultimately you can't run to HR because somebody necessarily sexually harassed you because you become the problem and they will find a way to can you.
Yeah.
But what a power trip you have to be on when you're in a mall, the outside of a mall, and you think there's cameras not on you.
And then to do to take this some little girl and they're like pushing her up against a van,
Yeah.
like,
Oh my
wow, you're
God.
such a tough guy. But I think a lot of it too, and this is getting back to why like I am gotten so into like progressive politics, is I think also there's even a bigger issue to address, which is like if we had, a Green New Deal that was putting people to work making green energy in this country. We had a $15 minimum wage to start with, and in places like New York, you could add on top of it. If we had Medicare for all, like they have in Europe, if we had free college tuition, there would be so many less. Like the richest country in the history of the world having poor neighborhoods is ridiculous. So then we're not even creating these like bad neighborhoods where the cops go in just automatically ramped up, ready to go. You know what I mean?
But you're mentioning systems that the what did you call them? The ruling class has
implemented.
Yes, but has already convinced even the people who need the help that they're taking handouts. Do you know how many people lost their jobs, like friends of mine, and they're like, well, I don't want to take unemployment because I don't want a handout. And I'm like, that's not the system. The system is that's your money. That's like they kept siphoning from your paycheck, not just your paycheck, because then it's like, well, I haven't worked in that much and I'm getting back this money. The taxes that you pay on your food that you pay in the stores, that when you go to the bodega, when you go to like anything, you are paying your taxes. People consider that a handout. Why? Where did we get that information from? Why do you think that unemployment and all of these, quote, handouts are just being given to you? We are paying into this system, and that's why your taxes are that high. That's why you pay this, that, and the next. But the system has it so that we're convincing ourselves, and our parents convince us of that, like pick you up by your bootstraps and all that shit. That's them going, don't take your money back. When Trump happily said, why would I pay my taxes?
Right.
I'm not a sucker. Because there are things in place that will help you. That's the help that he got as a millionaire.
Right. Well, I think you bring up great points of how effective.
Thank you.
The propaganda.
Can we isolate that?
Well, you bring
First soundbite.
It's the thing we've been talking about how the overall. I don't think these are separate issues. I think they're all connected in the sense that the overall propaganda machine of the ruling class has made it so working class people go, I'm going to pull myself up my bootstraps, and it's
I need to work 60 hours in order to say that I'm a hard worker.
And it's like the billionaires, the 20 of the top Fortune 500 companies pay $0 in taxes. And some of them even get tax breaks, and they have billions of dollars in profits, and they don't pay taxes. Where are their bootstraps? So it's like, I think part of like what Ron and I are doing on our individual YouTube podcasts and everything, and this tour and everything, is like to help change that message. So when people go, well, how are you going to pay for free healthcare? Go, hey, no one ever asked how we're going to pay for a new bomber. Nobody ever asked how we're going to pay for rockets. Nobody ever asked for that. And these things we're asking for, these are called far left radicals in America. In Western Europe, you're a goddamn centrist. Free healthcare and free college tuition. That's a foregone conclusion.
And it's for you. I do have the track in this new album called Your Own Worst Enemy. And the point is, after talking some things out, I realize how people don't want to do that. They're fighting against themselves when this is free healthcare for you. And I think, and this must drive you crazy, both of you being really embedded and seeing this more than I do. Why are you fighting yourself? Because your dad had to go through bullshit and you did a couple years ago, and now you in the future and the next generation, they have to too, because life wouldn't be fair?
We do that even in like things like the LGBT community. We had to fight to, be this, that, and recognize, and now you guys are just changing sexes. Like, yes. That's what you fought for, so that no one can go, what's in your pants, without me going, here's what's in my pants. Don't worry about it. It's just all this guilt and all this shaming, this hiding, this secrecy. I don't want to tell you, our parents who don't even want to tell us what diseases they've had because they don't want us to tell the doctor because it's embarrassing. Things like that. Things like the biggest thing is shame and embarrassment. And we might want to make a list of all the things that we're shameful and embarrassed by, and maybe think why we're shamed and embarrassed by it. And that might be the first thing that you could say, so that you can be vocal about the stuff, so that you won't be abused by not only the system, but your husband, your wife, your parents. You can let go of this nonsense that has been feeding you into normalcy. Like, this is your new normal. What if you decided that something else is your normal? Do you know how to do that? If you keep going, I wish I could blah, blah, blah. Start a fucking list. You can blah, blah, blah.
I bet you if you made that list, I bet you 90% of those things you could tie to just the propaganda of the ruling class has tricked us all into fight with ourselves and because they know I'm
fighting with people on the left. What the fuck are we doing?
I know.
Fuck out of here.
I know. We're the 99. There's more of us than there are of them. The Hamptons are not a defensible position. So, so the more you start kind of, as I've woken up and decided to I just want to get to the truth. I just want to get to the truth, and I want real progressive policies. Incremental centrism is not going to do it because we've got.
But how scary is the truth? Even on our own personal level, if you have like a nagging cough and you don't go to the doctor, and suddenly it's a tumor or whatever. Wait, I keep speaking from personal experiences, but because we don't want to know.
Let's say you check your ex's email address, right? Because you get a vibe, okay? Let's say that. Let's say email's America, okay? Yes, Henda?
But we don't even want to know what's going on with ourselves. We don't want to know that we have the disease. We don't want to take the tests that tell us we have cancer. We don't want to go to the dentist to say that we have a filling, so we let that go. The truth is very, very difficult. and then it eases up.
I think part of that, though, that fear, Hemda, is the financial fear, because the number one cause of bankruptcy in this country is medical costs. 30,000 people a year die because they don't have health insurance.
Yeah, but then when you get back to the question of, oh, well, universal system, how are we going to pay for that? The truth is, which actually is a very nice truth, we already pay for it. And a lot. A universal system would pay us money. We already pay more and get less than every other industrialized nation in the world. Our actual GDP expenditure would be less under a universal Medicare for all system.
Also, if you're listening and you have insurance, when is the last time you went to the doctor? Don't worry. No one's still going to go. So let the people that do go live. Fix your gums.
And also the medical costs are fake. These are fake. The pills
yeah.
that cost $1,000, the beds that cost $10,000 a night, that's fake. They made that up so that the insurance companies pay for it. And when you don't have insurance, they still have to charge you what they would charge the insurance, which is not possible. So you're making up all this stuff in order to, like, everyone's trying to one-up each other, and we're all fucked. What kind of fucking system is this?
Yeah, and then,
all right, time to kill ourselves.
And then, then they get to charge you 3 times because it's like, oh, well, you got your inflated insurance monthly. You got your premium when you actually go in to see the doctor. Then you got, well, whatever's wrong with you and whatever charges are there that isn't covered. So.
Why should college be free? Why should healthcare be free? You know what? You don't have to have an opinion. Just move. Just move out of the way and let people with opinions do things.
And if you're all like, well, I don't want to give everyone handouts. Well, what do you think the crime rate would look like if everybody had health care and college tuition? All of you are like, crime. It would drop. And our crime rate is not that bad, actually.
We're all criminals, by the way.
Yeah, I mean,
As soon as
comedians are filthy criminals.
Everyone's a fucking criminal.
Yeah.
Everyone has that in your blood. It's fucking in you. You could be the nicest person. I am. I'm the nicest person. As soon as I got so broke, I started it so quickly.
Yeah.
So quickly, I was like, why does that kid have the new blah, 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 and I am worried about my rent? This was like a few years ago, and I started getting angry at everything, and I swear to God, it was so fast, and then I started stealing. Not even because I was that hungry or that broke, just because, fuck you, it's my sandwich now. Like, it just becomes this thing because you feel oppressed. You feel like, how is this happening to me? How, when I'm at work all the time, when I'm trying very hard, when things aren't adding up, when this bill keeps coming in, when so-and-so is suing me, when, like, what the fuck is happening? And you just get mad and react as a human being. So you're all fucking criminals. And if you're not, you might have had a nicer spoon in your mouth than you know.
Yeah, capitalism is pretty cruel. And it creates that environment where unless you're part of the 1%, it's brutal, and you have to fight and claw, and you will be in a position of having to steal.
Yeah, and if you're working 2 and 3 jobs and you're still barely making ends meet, and you're just like, you know what, fuck it, I deserve something.
Yeah.
Like 60% of America can't afford a $500 to $1,000 emergency. 60%. That's crazy. 40 million people, over 10% of this country, live in poverty. So the people who are like, I don't want to, they shouldn't get, why do they get handouts? Well, they're going to come for you, gated community. So you might want to give them some health care.
Right, because gated community especially, you start looking like, how does this fucking happen?
Yes.
This must be partly mine because I don't know who you are. You're a piece of shit. I spoke to you earlier. You don't deserve any of this.
Yep.
You're a lazy fuck.
Now, can we just go to your guys' website and you tell us what to do? There's a lot of people out there, that's all.
Yeah, you just threw a lot of statistics, and I don't know how much I can help.
Or how to pronounce it.
Yeah. Only 2-syllable words here.
Now, going back to the cop point real quick. Tell me what you think, assuming this story is true. A college student used Snapchat's gender swap filter to pose as a 16-year-old girl on Tinder and caught a 40-year-old police officer trying to meet the teen for sex. The student, in real life, was actually 20, said he was trying to catch a predator, didn't know he'd end up catching a cop. Does this cop stay alive? It's a thought. We just had Father's Day, and Bill Cosby sent out a tweet. He, of course, is still in jail, 3 to 10 years.
In other news, for people who need to sit down for a minute.
But he had his
No, I must speak today.
Really? Today's the day, Bill?
Hey, hey, hey.
Somebody couldn't have shanked him on today?
Right. Now, this is true. Hey, hey, hey. It's America's dad.
He said that?
Yeah.
He tweeted, and that was all he tweeted?
No, there's more.
Oh.
He's just letting you take it in. ...
Why does he have Twitter in prison?
He had his spokesperson do it.
Okay.
I know
good,
it's
he has a spokesperson.
Yeah. I know it's late, but to all the dads, it's an honor to be called a father. So let's make today a renewed oath to fulfilling our purpose, strengthening our families and communities. Hashtag Happy Father's Day.
You're in jail. How
What
are you
a
strengthening anything?
fucking
How did he get all those
psychopath.
characters? Seems like he's over the limit.
What a sociopath.
I hate to
Hashtag-
break it to you, but they've elongated that a while ago.
No, well, it's 280. It still sounds like longer than that. I don't know.
Hashtag renewed oath to our family.
Ew, what family?
Well, so you can easily find it if you're looking up family
I
stuff.
see. No, you're right. Even hey sounded like it was too long.
Well, I mean,
That felt like 300 characters.
Hey! I'm your father.
we were talking about O.J. Simpson. He just went on Twitter, of course. I follow him. People are saying don't follow murderers. Follow murderers. That's who you do follow.
They don't tell you something.
Yeah, you want to know where they're at.
Now, coming soon to Twitter, you'll get to read all my thoughts and opinions on just about everything. Now, there's a lot of fake OJ accounts out there, so this one, at the real OJ32, is the only official one. So this should be a lot of fun. I got a little getting even to do.
What?
So God bless. Take care.
Got a little getting even to do. You look at these all other accounts. I mean, one just said, I would kill for a cheeseburger. First of all, I don't even eat cheeseburgers. Secondly,
That soundbite, that gives me a crisis of hope.
right?
That makes me go, oh, we're done. Society's over.
Okay, that was my first post. Here's my second.
Hey, Twitter world. You know, for years, people have been able to say whatever they want to say about me with no accountability. But now I get to challenge a lot of that BS and set the record straight.
And I just got a new knife set.
More importantly, I'll be able to talk about everything, especially sports, fantasy football, and even politics. But for now, let me just say to my fellow fathers out there, Happy Father's Day, and God bless.
It still feels good, no matter who you are. It's nice to hear.
Oh, I was gonna say we need to get rid of Father's Day just so like idiots like this don't have anything to say. Just like, oh, you know what? Happy Father's Day.
It sounds like he just learned like what Twitter is too. Like right before he made those videos. Like he's like, you can do all this on this website, and then some of his people were like, we were trying to keep this from him, but then he's just like making videos already anyway.
So it's a website, and you talk on it. You say, "Okay, hey,
I'm in.
I'm able to talk."
By the
How
way,
long has this been going on?
totally off topic. I'm noticing your tattoo.
I noticed yours.
Oh,
yeah,
thank
that
you.
is really cool.
That's all I wanted.
like it.
Thank you. We
Yeah.
can move on.
Nice. Nice tattoo recognition, guys.
And very fun to hear.
Yeah, stay out of our little club here. No, but what is your tattoo?
So I have a tattoo. It says "One More Time," and it's actually the heart of a band called The Cure, and that's one of my favorite songs by them. So,
okay.
but it's also just sort of an open-ended, whatever. I got it.
I
when
thought it was the opposite of a sobriety tattoo. One more time. All right.
One more time. Well, a little bit. Like I got it when I was living in Nashville, Tennessee, and it was a semester in college. I did an internship on Music Row, and I was living in a youth hostel for 3 months. It was really, really fun. Just taking people from all over the world to like Music Row and showing them how it works, because a lot of people were from other countries. So I was like, yeah, this is how Broadway works, and these are the cool bars, and let me explain tipping to you, or you're gonna make a lot of people angry. And it was a fun chapter of my life. So I commemorated it with a tattoo. And I don't think I was sober when I got it either, so there was a little
Right.
bit of like, yeah, one more time. So,
What does one more time mean to you, though? Like one more time. How do you apply that?
well, like just kind of in life, I mean, especially when I started comedy. I mean, I bombed for a long time at open mics, like most of us do, and I was just like, I want to do this one more time, and just whenever you fail something, one more time.
That's cool. That
and
is
keep
like
going. So,
like
and
the
it's a great song.
How does it go?
Oh man, it's
Hit
a
me,
long
baby,
one.
more
There's
time.
that one. There's that one.
Oh, baby, I wanna get drunk in Nashville. Anyway, I don't know the words. I don't know. The words.
You nailed it. Those
Dead
are the
on.
words. Yeah.
Dead on.
Hey, but you guys know Kevin Sorbo, the great Hercules, right? From the
Sure,
TV show.
of course.
He tweeted out, if women are upset by Trump's naughty words,
Stop. Just stop.
who the hell bought 80 million copies of 50 Shades of Grey? Answer me that. And he hit enter with a big smug
Oh
smile.
my God.
Think about that, people.
Everything that's going on in the world, that's the stance. That's the thing you want to push out.
Oh
So,
my God.
guys,
how
you
recent
guys-
was that
If you guys
tweet?
don't like being
Very.
catcalled, why do you talk dirty in bed?
Right.
Makes no sense at all.
Okay.
It's like, I don't want someone just grabbing my ass just out willy-nilly in public.
Graham, I can't hear your words right now. I literally can't hear you.
You write on social media you're horny. But you're not a fan of rape. Quandary given. #wow. Xena was a bitch. Send.
Oh, Kevin Sorbo.
Kevin Sorbo, we had such a nice image of you.
I know.
You were a gentle giant.
Just be a TV superhero. That's
Just
all
read
you.
your lines.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Show me the meal you made. Make it. You have a cat video. You're on vacation with your girlfriend. That's all we need out of you. Okay. Oh, got a new haircut. Oh, hi. Shut the fuck up about anything else.
Yeah, we really make celebrities feel like they're smart.
They're so dumb. They're
Yeah.
so god awful stupid.
So you're telling me you go to amusement parks but don't want to be hit by a car? Okay. #head spinning. Oh, man. Yeah, I hope his wife's fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's ridiculous.
He thinks he's being political.
Yeah, he thinks he's
know?
clever. He thinks
Yeah.
he's so clever.
He just, he was just like, boom.
Right.
He stood up out of his chair and was like, pow, Sorboed again. You
He
know?
dropped it. He bought a microphone just so he could
Right.
drop it after that. He,
Nap time. It's nap time for me.
Refresh.
Right. I wonder if women get upset on Father's Day when all these videos go up of a dad doing something cute with their kid, but like they do that always. Look, he's feeding his kid a peanut butter sandwich. What a dad. Okay.
He put a shirt on. It's backwards, but that's adorable.
Yeah, my girlfriend with 3 kids, I said, what are you guys doing with the kid's father? And she goes, nothing. He's not into it. I'm like, you can do that? Okay.
My boyfriend has a kid, and he takes her to school every morning, picks her up most, if not every morning, and he can tell on the elevator on the way out, like he's one of the few males walking their kid to school, and he's like getting all this like, oh my god, he's the best father, like this kind of, the fuck? That's his
Right.
sperm.
It's his job.
Yeah.
You don't get a gold star for doing what is required of you as a parent.
Gets gold stars all day, and I just take him away every time I see him.
Well, on Father's Day, the daughter happened to need surgery, appendix surgery, all of a sudden. And so the actual father doesn't want to go to the hospital because that's a thing to do.
Ew, hospitals.
But the butt still gives an opinion over the phone to the mom. And it's like, well, the doctors better make sure what they're doing before they just open her up.
Click.
This is some call. You think
I-
so? You think they shouldn't just cut and look?
I have some thoughts for that person with a medical degree. I have things to add.
Why don't you come over and tell them? The subways and then...
He's one of those, I could be a lawyer if I just went to school.
Oh.
What's one of those? Can you help me with my kid right now? You know what? If I come over there, I'm going to jail. Meaning I can't control myself. If I have
Like,
to,
I'm so passionate about this.
if I have to do discipline, then I'm gonna have to slam a head in the oven. So it's best I don't do anything.
I could play in the NBA if I was 7 feet tall.
Yeah. Look at this guy just being handed it. They keep passing him a basketball. If someone passed me a basketball.
Oh.
So she was with the daughter who was getting the surgery and the son, 11 and 13. And so they're at the hospital. So she asked me to do a fatherly move. And I went and got the son from the hospital and took him back to her place and stayed there for the night. The next morning.
Oh, your first sleepover. Not the kind that you wanted.
So then, she's in and out. The mom is in and out to the hospital. And that morning she like took a nap and she had like a sports bra and shorts. And then the kid the next morning is like, Ma, he can see you.
Aw.
Like, what? Don't wear that. Keith can see. So adorable. So dumb.
Look at you. Look at you.
Wait till you learn what sex is. Oh, you're going to put all this together. It's going to be breaking of your brain.
Well, speaking of fathers, I finally posted my very first Instagram. And it was me writing back to my dad a Father's Day message. And it's...
And this is not you writing back. This is you initiating an email. He just doesn't know that you've been writing him for a while.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Right,
It does
right.
get confusing like Inception. So, of course...
So Keith has been writing as if he is his ex-wife, and he's been divorced for 2 years.
And you guys are still friends, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Friendly, yes.
And so your dad thinks that he's writing to your ex-wife.
Yes.
Meanwhile, it's you writing it. every
Behind my
time.
back, yes.
So now you decided to write an email actually directly from you instead of
Right.
calling them, which, by the way, can I...
Sure.
Okay.
So I called.
I was here. He had it on speaker.
My siblings said they were getting an answering machine. And
So he felt empowered.
Now's the perfect time. I'll get the answering machine. Because in person, I get confused. I'm like, I just wanted to say you're the best dad and you raised me properly. And I'm like, why did I lie like a weirdo? Where if it's an answering machine, hi, sorry, I missed you, bye.
Right.
You know, I did my yearly duty. I felt like. So everybody got an answering machine. I call, I'm going to get the answering machine, couple rings, and then I hear, hello? And I go, click. And then I learned what one of my brothers did.
This can't be real.
He thought he was going to get the answering machine. My dad picks up and goes, hello. He leaves a, quote, message as though he has an answering machine and not a real person, and then hung up.
Hey, sorry I missed you.
No, I'm right here. Definitely not here. Okay, bye-bye.
That cannot be.
That's fantastic. So anyway, my Father's Day message I said, I'll do some kind of, I'll allude to these emails from my ex and see what he starts putting together in his head.
Now, one of the things that his dad did, and his dad said a lot of weird shit, but one of the things that he did was he noticed the email that Keith made up for his ex had the number 86 in it. And so his father goes, I noticed, that you had a sexual innuendo in your email. You could start by taking that out, something like that.
Here's what he says.
Oh, yes.
By the way, we started this conversation with you saying you desired to seek a different lifestyle. She's with a woman now. By returning to New York. Yet, as I stare at your email, Addie, I wonder just how candid you are being with me. Care to comment on that matter? I'm just as confused as you. I don't know what any of these words mean. And so, fake Catherine wrote, do you mean why am I asking about homosexuality in the church while I am seeking a different lifestyle? I'm not sure what you're asking. And I'm looking at the email address. It's her name, 86, the year she was born. I don't know what he's talking about. And he said, I guess I'm wondering why you have the type of personal email address that you do, while at the same time you've indicated to me that you want to change from a homosexual lifestyle to a heterosexual lifestyle. That's because she's trying to figure out how to win me back. Because she blew it, is what fake Catherine's saying. Is this making any sense? It seems to me to be like the battered woman who says she hates being battered but refuses to leave her spouse.
Wow, I forgot that part. That's a really shitty thing to say.
I never quite understood that unless the person could not afford to leave or feared for her life if they left. Are either of those situations your situation? Did your marriage, was that to please or displease your father or mother? What caused you to go from one lifestyle to the other? What do you not like about your current lifestyle, the partner, or the lifestyle? I'm like, what?
It's so much.
So fake Catherine says, I'm missing a step, I think. I'm not in a relationship anymore. Is that the confusion? And my dad said, what relationship are you referring to? If you mean your romantic one with a female, then I misunderstood your current situation. But that does not explain your email address that carries with it a clear sexual overtone.
So he's confusing 86 for 69.
I guess.
But that's a far...
But is making 86 has something to do with being a lesbian also.
Oh, he doesn't know what lesbians do.
They don't know numbers.
No.
So I said, this took a turn. My email address saying personal 86. I was born in 1986, not to brag. And he said, thank you for clarifying the email address. I apologize for rash judging. Shall we continue our conversation about Keith and God? And I said, well, now you have to say how it was sexual. I'm not letting this go. And he said, I am certain that you are very internet savvy. You could have looked it up yourself instead of asking me.
And by the way, we all did. We all were like, sexual position 86. 86 is the new 69. Like, we Googled it. There's the entire team of people Googling what the fuck 86 could mean because we want to try it.
Now, why do you...
And nobody came up with anything.
Nothing.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you come up with anything?
We even binged it.
What's funny is that
we asked Jeeves.
Jeeves came out of retirement, couldn't find an answer. He said, this is why I quit. People are typing in dumb shit. But that he would say, hey, what is with this sexual thing? Do you want to explain yourself? With an attitude. She goes, there's no such thing. And then he says, oh, okay. You could have looked it up though.
Right.
Why are you making me be the pervert? But just one of the many web pages pertaining to it can be found at, quote, goodbye 69, your favorite new position in 2017, the 68, as well as a large number, which I don't know what that is either,
Yeah.
as well as a large number of such addresses, with 86 simply being a juxtaposition of the former.
Link, sir, it didn't happen. I could easily link you to anything I tell you.
If you do not desire to be giving such an impression to a person, I strongly recommend that you change your email address immediately, if not sooner.
Because I just jerked off to it.
Such wording never existed in my day, at least not that I am aware, but it seems that the internet and humans' deviations have given everything a new meaning.
I am the walrus. I don't know. Nothing makes sense.
So then fake Catherine wrote back, sooner than immediately? Oh, Mr. Malley, you're a character. I wonder what other numbers I need to watch out for. And he said, I do not know that answer. I came across this very accidentally without trying or initially researching it.
Okay.
I researched it and couldn't find anything. He was just sitting around.
What are you... What?
Yeah.
How was Christ born? Well, the 86th position had...
By the way, speaking of deadbeat dads, this Christ, this God the Father, right?
Did he just find porn on the internet, your dad?
I wonder.
I don't know. I looked 86 up, I said, and only see it means to eject something or no longer have something. I can't imagine how you happen to just come across it. What'd you type in? You didn't even try to research it? Then how did you research it? Thanks. And he said, I honestly do not remember what I had typed.
So type anything again. Dude, you fell on it.
Such things have happened to me more than just a few times. Once while sitting at a library computer, information on Lima, Ohio came up without searching for it. Well, guess what? I once used to live in Lima, Ohio. Where'd I know? What can I say?
It's miraculous.
I tell Mark some of my computer experience, and he's baffled by them. Yet, that is the way it is.
Divine shit.
And I said, well, this feels a little different, but okay, I guess we'll never know. How was your week? And then we moved on.
Okay. So that's a lot of talk about 86 position.
Yeah, and none.
Yeah.
A lot and none.
We learned absolutely nothing, but we got to talk a lot.
So this is what I posted on Instagram, the letter to my father from me, the real me.
Keith Malley.
Me.
Yes.
Happy Father's Day. Hello, it's Keith. I hope you have had a good Father's Day. I tried calling but couldn't leave a message. Did you 86 the answering machine? Hope you're well.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
So then he writes back. 1:22 a.m.
122.
What is...
He's partying.
And he spells out 86. He goes, what is 86ing an answering machine?
No. Well, a simple Google search.
Right. I'm like, I believe you're very internet savvy, Dad.
Yeah. Oh,
Right?
you should write that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It means that
He's heard the term. It's an older term. You're 86. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
What do you mean? Do you mean that I fuck my answering machine in a perverted lesbian way?
Yes, Dad.
Yes.
Speak it slower.
What is-
lesbian answering machine sex?
So he doesn't do a paragraph space or anything. He just does it real quick, like it's nothing. What is 86ing an answering machine? When you called, I was quite far away from the phone. By the time I picked it up, it was about to kick into answering machine mode. In the process, I think what happened was I neither heard your voice nor did it go to the answering machine. Thanks for calling. I always love talking to you. Good night. That was the end of that. And I said, I meant, did you get rid of it? If you 86 something, it means you got rid of it. I learned it being a waiter, 86 the mashed potatoes. Doesn't mean I put my prick in it, Dad. No, I'm just kidding. 86 the mashed potatoes. Anyway, I guess it was a glitch or something, just curious.
There's more? Please, there's more. Please.
So that was the end of that, but then he got to the emails to Catherine.
What?
Yeah.
He brings them up to you, Keith Malley.
No.
Oh.
No,
okay.
he's done with me.
He got another one.
Now he's going to deal with my ex-wife.
Okay.
Oh.
Fake ex-wife.
It's now 1:40 a.m. My fake ex-wife. Yeah.
Oh, so this is email time.
Yes.
You guys emailed back and forth. Now he's like, what other emails do I have to get to? Oh, Catherine needs my attention.
And if you remember, the last email he sent was, I always wondered if Keith was upset that I was gone on the road.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, this is when I was 2 or 3 years old. Okay, I don't remember it. I remember you being around all the time. I remember you sneaking into my school and looking through that little window and embarrassing me, spying on me doing nothing. You were never, I thought latchkey was a disease. When I knew you just weren't home, I'm like, how do I catch this? This is fantastic news. You wouldn't be home. I wish.
It was so home all the time, there wasn't a time he wasn't home at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Because he, quote, worked from home, where really, I don't know, he just hid Snickers bars from their mom so they won't find out that he's eating the bad things.
Right. Well, also in that email.
By the way, God totally wants you to hide candy bars from your wife.
If you remember in that email, he said how great it is to know and love God and being born in the right religion. And
Amen.
I thank God that I believe in it. There was a time when I did not, which I remember we were saying, I can't imagine when. When would he have time? He was in his 20s. He was a priest. I believe in his 20s. He also married his mom, my mom.
That also would be a really good story. If you come to Jesus, then you can explain how to come to Jesus.
Right.
I come on Jesus, but that's different.
I said, why didn't you believe in God? When didn't you? One moment on a Tuesday from 3 to 4:15 p.m.? Come on, tell me. That's fake
And this
Catherine.
is fake Catherine.
Yeah.
She gets sassy every here and again.
Oh, she gets fed up, yeah.
One more time.
It was my first year in college. It started with a college professor during a social science class.
Wait, he answered this?
Yes.
Oh, start over.
Okay. First year in college. Now, I don't know about this college. I never heard of it. When did you have time to go to college and go to the seminary?
Yeah, I was gonna say he wasn't in the seminary, was he? Because I feel like that's a disqualifier.
He went to college, I think. I'm believing that he walked into a college. But he had to quickly walk out because he mentioned all these majors he was taking. I never heard of this, and he wouldn't have time to go to 8 years of seminary as
No,
well.
I think this is fake.
Yeah. It started with a college professor during a social science class who asked a few questions that he had no business asking in a public state college, and to which I had never been educated
Just say the question.
at the time to answer in my own mind. The questions were, this is what gave him a crisis of faith. If there is a God, why do bad things happen to good people?
That's so deep, man.
I've never heard a dumber question in my fucking life. Didn't you hear that question when you were a kid?
That's the standard.
Yeah.
That's the standard question. Well, if
Yeah.
there's a God, why do bad things happen to good
That
people?
was that's all it took. Imagine posing that to a priest. You're just like, hey, Father, if bad things happen,
Right.
why do you? I never thought. You know what? We're done here. I never thought of that.
Where
We're
did
done.
you think of that?
I gotta stop touching these kids.
Maybe that's when they started touching kids. They're like, who cares?
Yeah, bad things happen to bad people.
Sorry, kids. It's a great lesson you're going to learn.
Why do bad things happen to good people?
God is giving you a challenge right now.
And here's the second question. Why is there so much starvation in the world? So it's a double barrel.
It's a fucking same question.
Well, not the way this guy asked it. At that time, I had no answers to those types of questions. Is this the dumbest college in town? Shame on me for not realizing the answers. Shame on him for putting theological doubts into students' minds that apparently plagued him. That he was
What?
too lazy to seek correct theological answers to them without imposing them on our young, untrained minds. A student goes to college to learn, not be presented with doubts to which a professor does not supply appropriate answers.
What do you think learning
What is the business of this professor challenging students to think critically about hard things?
And what's
That's not what I'm here for.
what's the class again? Social something?
Social science class.
So isn't that part of it? That's.
I'd say so. Yeah. I'd say it's in the realm.
You would think social and science.
Yeah.
I would think. And then quickly he goes into, did you listen to that song that I mentioned?
No, did he really mention that?
Because I mentioned this song that made me think about being on the road too much. It was called, quote, and I love his quotes.
He said he'd listened to it pretty much every day, and it brought a tear to his face every single time.
It's called "What If God Was One of Us?" And
It's called, you know, Dad, I'm going to grow up and be like you, Dad. Now, he meant Cats in the Cradle.
But we had to figure that out. Yeah, but he heard it every day, and he can quote it.
Right. Did you listen to the song that I mentioned? Your dad's comment to me at your wedding was in the same vein?
What?
I don't know. I have no
Her
idea.
dad was around.
So so Fake Catherine says, I knew the song. It's called Cats in the Cradle. A rock band called Ugly Kid Joe remade it for a new generation some years ago. I'm kind of hoping he looks up Ugly Kid Joe. And it was that little punk Dennis the Menace looking character, always gave the middle finger on the album covers. They wrote Goddamn Devil. I'm not sure what you're referring to, what my dad told you at my wedding. As for God letting bad things happen to good people, doesn't that seem like a pretty simple question? Did it really seem like the professor was getting so deep? Is that what made you be a priest? You looked up why and then joined the seminary instead?
Sass,
Thanks.
sassy, sassafras.
She has a
Happy
lot of-
Father's Day, you sassy bitch.
So he writes,
Ooh.
nothing is ever quite that simple. That question was not simple for me.
The fuck time in the morning is this?
This is now sometime 9 a.m. this morning, I believe.
Your dad should start drinking.
So he slept on this. He went to bed around 1:45, 2 a.m.
We got to put a pin in this.
He wakes up.
I'll be back.
Hot cup of coffee, and let's get into professors should not ask challenging questions.
It haunted me for 6 years.
Oh!
This is what sickens me the most. That's in my blood. This question. Why would a God let bad things happen? Well, then God's an asshole. That's why. When is the king not an asshole? You have to pray to him 3 times a day, like when you brush your teeth. He comes above everything, and you challenge nothing. That is a dickhead.
Can't somewhere in that 6 years, don't you just come to the conclusion? Well, I guess we're given free will.
Right.
I mean, you could do any of the standard. Well, I guess if you want to believe in God, you go, well, I guess God gives us free will. So human beings are just allowed to choose, and that's up to us. Oh, okay, good.
He's challenging your faith. He has self-esteem issues. Rise to the challenge.
I want to see how he figured this out over the 6 years. I want to see the board with the pins and the string.
Like a detective case.
Yeah. Like 6 years of just learning.
It haunted me for 6 years.
Haunted.
I'm
like
gonna-
the ghost. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
There it is.
And that's the end of that. As for your father's comment, it was on the evening of your wedding. If you recall, your mom and I were sitting next to each other.
Ew, don't say it like that.
She's a great conversationalist. I assume she was dripping. For some reason, it's implied. For some reason, I do not recall what. Maybe she went to the little girl's room.
Ew.
But she had momentarily left the table. Your father came up to me and said, "Can we talk?" Again, these are in quotes.
He did not say that.
Right.
Her
we
father
talk?
did not come up to him and say, "Can we talk?"
At the wedding, you didn't know if you could talk to the other dad.
So wait a minute. Your ex-wife's dad went up to your dad and asked, "Can we talk?"
Yeah.
At the wedding.
You know, like you're coming to the Godfather.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
Can we talk? I have some thoughts on poverty. Can we?
Can we talk? I presume you realize that there's a substantial difference in ages between my daughter and your son. And I said, quote, "Yes, I know." And he responded, quote, "Does that bother you?
Bullshit.
She has some growing up to do yet." And I replied, quote, "I don't think it matters much whether it does or not. Does it?" He replied, quote, "No, I guess that it doesn't. Besides, I don't know why that bothers me, considering how much I screwed up my own life."
Who said that?
Her dad.
Oh, really?
Never happened.
Oh, really? He didn't screw up anything.
No, I guess it doesn't. I screwed up my own life. Well, then that's that. I guess that's settled, end quote. My dad is always the savior, and he just calmed down my wife's dad.
No, you know what your dad's doing? Your dad's like, "Oh, this girl comes from a broken home, and that's how that guy fucked up." Meanwhile, he's like, either remarried or in a long-term relationship with this woman. Everyone's happy and satisfied and doing their own thing. So he's just like, this piece of shit, right?
Yeah. Then he turned and walked away.
Slowly.
So
and
he
you saw
thinks-
only one pair of footprints in the sand.
Then it turned into a strut.
Well, you can tell by the way I use my phone.
So he, right at this moment, he thinks he's talking to your ex-wife, and he's basically just telling your ex-wife, "Hey, your dad thinks you were too young. Like, I've got the reason why your marriage ended. You were too young, you didn't have your shit together. So says your father."
Yes.
But meanwhile, I was on your side the whole time. It's your father that's broken.
Right.
Wow, that's manipulative as shit.
Yeah. And it always puts him in a position of calm, know-it-all, like, has the rights and like eases people's minds and let them move forward.
Boy, that's weird. The Catholic Church never does any of that.
Right.
Then he
The
turned.
Catholic Church thinks somebody's too young to have sex? Whoa.
Oh,
That is a great point you bring up. I didn't think about that necessarily, that he's telling her, "I was on your side."
Yeah.
He didn't believe it.
but that's you're
He said, her father said, "I fucked up my life,
Yeah.
and now my daughter's fucking it up too by marrying this older guy." You concur, right? No, I do not. Okay, thanks.
And that's
We
that's
tossed it
someone that's trying to stir the pot.
Yeah.
When someone comes up to you and goes, "Did you hear what so and so said about you?" They're not doing that.
It's triangulating.
Yeah, they're trying to stir up the pot. They're trying to triangulate, and they act like, "Look, I told them no, but man, can you?" They're trying to get you to go, "What the fuck did they say?" and get you all spun out over it.
He turned and walked away. I thought that I saw true remorse on his face for whatever had happened in his life and yours.
Holy shit! This man provided Kat with so much wonderful stuff. She's doing absolutely fantastic.
The dad, yeah.
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 They had like a decent relationship, and your dad fucking neglected the ever-living shit out of you.
My dad's acting like he paid for the wedding.
Right.
Her dad did. Calm down.
Wow.
Yeah, you're talking about the person who provided this entire thing for everybody. And by the way, this is at the reception. Too late, fucker. Did you not have my number?
Wow.
You've been engaged for like a year at least before the wedding. Now's a good time. Thank you. Oh, well, I saw the regret on his face, so I thought I'd ease it.
By the way, whenever I sent the Father's Day letter, I also sent a letter from Kat at the same time. I've been doing that to see if I kind of want him to catch some clue, but it's not working.
And also to see who he likes better.
Yes.
Actually, that is a tell. You both sent an email at like 8 o'clock at night or something? Or?
Middle of the night, anytime I send now, I'm sending them both at the same time.
Shut up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe he's not noticing that because he has a time where he answers things, but he doesn't notice the time that they come in. He only notices fake shit. Like he's like,
Nothing
I noticed
real,
your
right.
father was upset.
What if
Okay, that didn't happen.
he listens
I
to
noticed
the show?
86.
He wouldn't be able to he doesn't listen because he wouldn't allow me to believe he's a fool.
But what if he's doing a long con here?
No, this is, oh yeah, first of all, okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot of credit. Second, that's the reason why we start every show with fuck cunt shit. So he's like, no, I can't. Turns it right off. Yeah.
Okay.
It's our jingle sounds like, hey, all you assholes come and listen, but really it's fuck cunt shit and fuck your mom. And then he's like turning it off.
So Faye Catherine wrote, LOL, you sure know how to keep a conversation going, wink. What conclusion did you come to 6 years later, and how does that relate to you when you were an active priest? And I have one more letter from
we
him.
get dick pics already.
Right.
Now we're just learning about Jesus over and over
Are
again.
you bored yet? Can I let him know now?
Don't let him know. Ask a question. Like, start flirting with him as Kat. Start saying how you like now you're being attracted to older men. You're being attracted to people of cloth. You're not sure what to do. You're attracted to a priest. You're attracted to a priest. Yes.
I don't know. That's a can of worms, friend.
This whole thing is worms.
What's this? I'm just going to write back, I'm horny. And then if he says something, I go, oh, sorry, that was for somebody else.
Oh. No, like, come on. Attracted to an older man. He happens to be a priest. What do I do?
It wasn't so much of a conclusion, my dad says, about realizing why God, it's okay to love God, this evil asshole. It was an understanding. God created Adam and Eve, gave them a beautiful garden to live in. Graham, you got it right the first time. Freedom from sickness, suffering, strife, and personal hardship and misery. Their job, tend to the garden because human muscles need movement, but without pain, sweat, tears, or unfulfilled needs. Then came along Satan and said, I can make you like unto God. Eve bit at the prospect, and Adam followed. Pain, suffering, greed, and every other imaginable calamity came from the Pandora's box, except it wasn't a fable. It was for real. The snake in the apple. If we want to eliminate suffering and hardship, we humans as a whole could do it quite quickly. But our business and government leaders, and you and I, do little to make it happen. You men have to agree with that. Fresh water exists underground literally everywhere in the world, just at varying depths. Why do we give handouts to poor countries rather than help them establish a power grid and drill wells for clean drinking water and safe sanitation?
Oh, my God. Didn't he go apply for fracking in your town?
Yes, he did.
Yeah. Fuck your mom. I mean, whoever you want to fuck.
Is it not because of corporate greed and the... Wow. Is it not because of corporate greed and the inherent fact of human subjection? Is that not a continuing form of slavery, human dominance, and arrogance? God gave us free will and said that he would not take it back, but will hold us responsible for our use of it. Oh my. Like he just thinks he blew Catherine's mind.
What the fuck did he just say?
He said, remember Noah's Ark when men, women, and children were all killed? Free will. Remember when we killed all the firstborn males? Free will. Like as if any of that makes sense also.
Why aren't we drilling for water, my son?
You know what's weird? Like I was raised Catholic, and we were actually taught that the Adam and Eve thing was metaphorical. Like we weren't. So that's
Well, now you
interesting.
know.
Like, yeah,
It's not a fable.
Yeah,
True story.
changes everything.
So were they teaching you when the Earth actually, or when we actually started as people? Like, what are they teaching you?
Well, they just taught us that wasn't necessarily a literal thing. We were supposed to take the lessons from it. That you're not supposed to go into temptation or whatever.
That's smart.
So
That's smart because these
yeah.
things work as fables.
But aren't you wondering what the literal thing is? Like, to me, these were the literal things. So you wouldn't bother asking, what's the literal thing?
Mm-hmm.
Was there ever peace on earth and no pain?
Is that what the Bible is saying? That just like only in the Garden of Eden
Yes.
there was.
If you didn't,
Yeah, because of that decision, that's why we have sin.
God said, don't eat that one apple, which he made look so good.
Oh,
That was kind of entrapment. But he said, don't.
So we had 1 week of peace on earth.
However long it
However
was.
long it was.
and
Oh,
then that-
nobody knows, huh?
What time change?
Yeah.
You have the Gregorian calendar. Don't get that started.
might have been 8 days,
So I'm thinking of this, telling my dad that,
maybe a week and a half. I mean, 10.
I'll act like he sent the emails to the wrong people. Like, I think I got a letter that you were trying to send to Catherine.
Come on, don't you guys think he should start flirting? This guy,
That just creeps me out.
but he has been creepy. His dad has been creepy about every girlfriend. He started an email randomly to Kat, going like, "You're so pretty." Anyway, blah blah blah. It was like this. Yes, make that face. Yes, he brings up the beauty in who Keith's dating, like as a constant. Like you have to prepare your girlfriend.
Yeah.
When you go to your father's house, like my dad's not going to hit on you, but he's going to be a little too concerned about how pretty you are.
He will tell you 6 times on the first day that you're beautiful.
Very strange.
The first time you'll say thank you. Second time you'll start to get it.
Yeah. And then the third time it's like, what's happening?
But yeah, I was excited about the 8060 answering machine. I don't think anything's going to come of it. And
that was a brilliant move, by the
thank
way.
you. But yeah, I think that's it.
So now what?
I'm going to rate Dad stop it from both accounts.
Huh. Like you're going to CC you or something?
Are you going
or-
to send them at the same time?
Maybe. Or I did have this other plan where Catherine says, hey, I decided to come clean and show Keith all the emails.
I don't think he's going to be bothered by that because he's going to be like, look, I was,
I'm
I was
trying to help.
counseling you,
I'm
yeah.
It's
counseling.
mentoring.
Yeah.
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 Nothing that he said was weird.
No,
to
she
him.
won't complain. She'll say thank you. Oh, you mean he'll say that to me?
Nah, I just don't think that he'll.
Well,
feel,
he'll be lying. He's gonna feel bad for a split second that like shit and look back through it, like it's the Usual Suspects movie and be like, what did I say to him? I said how beautiful she is.
I think you're overthinking how much your dad thinks about this. I think that he.
So
thinks,
then who cares?
He thinks that he's counseling someone, and that's why you keep
Yeah.
a secret.
Yeah.
And he's not keeping it a secret in order to keep it a secret from the family or from his wife or anything. He's keeping it a secret to respect the cloth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a priest, he's being discerning. Does that make sense?
Should I rate from my account? Being me, I mean, can you stop rating Catherine? And then see what he says.
Yeah, he's gonna ready. He's gonna
Yeah.
be like, son, Catherine came to me, and as a person of whatever God thinks, I am just.
Why is
there
he
to
defending
hear."
himself? You think he'd defend himself right away?
Well, you're saying stop.
I said
and,
stop, yeah.
And he'll basically say it's none of your business, and Kat needs his help.
Oh, I don't think so at all.
What do you think he'll say?
He'll be a stuttering prick.
No way. Over email?
Yeah.
Call him. He'll be a stuttering prick.
No, he'll be like, what did have you guys talked about? It'll be something like that. It's not going to be, well, let me explain. It's like I'm the adult now.
Oh,
and
you
I'm-
are mistaken. I almost want you to do this because it's time to get to know your dad.
I think your dad is his high ground, his moral high ground,
Yeah.
and the way he speaks is like he's going to be like, yeah, I was counseling a
young woman.
But I would
tormented
just say,
young woman,
you think I would say stop?
and he'd be
would-
like, if
and
it wasn't
he-
for you, she wouldn't be in this place.
Be in what place?
In this, like, worried about it, lesbian, trying to get you back.
Yeah, because that's the other thing. If he thinks homosexuality is a sin,
Of
correct?
course.
Right. So he thinks your ex-wife is committing a sin, so he's trying to repair her. That's what he thinks he's doing.
Yeah, nothing that he said was bad in the eyes of the Lord and whatever that Lord is. In that, it's a very sexual Lord. I think we learned from priests.
Should I say, oh, my My ex is acting kind of weird. You know anything about it, you fucking creep? How about
Closer to that.
I'd write just who let the dogs out.
I rate Who Let the Dogs Out. Fake Catherine rates Who Let the Dogs In.
Yeah.
Send at the same time.
I think
See what happens.
it's only over after he acts outside.
I'm
of
bored
what?
shitless. And I worry I bored everybody
So
today.
then let me handle this.
Then handle it. You
Okay.
have to write an email today.
Okay, so my email will be, I'm attracted to someone. The reason why I keep this going, and I hate to confess this, is because I'm attracted to somebody older who is a priest who I've been going to in order to get my head right. And this reminds me of you, so I feel very guilty. And I don't know, my associations have been confusing. And I hope, as my daddy, please use the word daddy, you can help me work through this. I'm finding myself attracted to the wrong people.
How
So
many
you
of these
start-
letters have you written? I mean,
I keep watching that episode of Sopranos over and over again.
Don't you guys like that?
I was very thorough.
Thank
it feels
you.
like you've written of them a bunch. Like you have. Well, we got to write another priest
Yes.
letter or something.
I feel like I know how your dad thinks, and he's dying for someone like Catherine to hit on him, and he's already like there in his mind. And he's not acting outside of what he normally. He would say this in front of you. He would say this in front of people. It's just that she asked him to keep a secret, and he's being her therapist. So now she's in love with her therapist. Now what's he gonna do?
Who let the dogs out?
P.S. Who Let the Dogs Out?
And then he'll go, "Who let the dogs in?" And then you can stop.
Okay, we'll do this.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. And then you can do whatever you want. I'm lying, but I'll still have a say. But this one I think will work.
All right.
B. Jason is saying, yes, let Hamda take over, please.
Why don't you just tell me, when did you go to college and leave college and all these majors, and when did you become a priest? You saw that question. You saw it.
Yes.
Lies of omission are lies, I was taught.
That's correct.
That's correct.
Yes, but he has a whole history in his mind of who he is, and he's 80 years old, so he can very easily be like, that was 60 years ago. Not my fault.
Well, I don't care. It's not a court of law. I know he's lying.
Right. So let's do what we care about. Let's get some dick pics out of your dad.
All right. You know what? Why not? The whole world's dying anyway, right,
Yeah,
guys?
sure. Yeah.
Who gives a shit? Graham, you can follow online. Graham Elwood on Twitter. Same thing on Instagram. Same thing on the website. Okay. The podcasts you want to hear are The Political Vigilante and Comedy Film Nerds. The Progressive Comedy Tour is going on. This is you with your buddy, right?
With Ron and I, we each do 45-minute sets, and then we have like political organizations. We've had like Movement for a People's Party come out, the Green Party, Democratic Socialists have come out. We've had progressive candidates come out.
And guys, it's still fun.
Yeah, it's just so, but that's the point, though. Is it's like, because I think progressives feel like, oh, I'm alone, I'm crazy, and the whole world's falling apart, and they come and they laugh. We always say, come alone, and then you'll meet a community of people, because we tell people to get involved, and you laugh your ass off, and it's more than a comedy show. So we have shows this Wednesday the 19th in Boston, July 27th in Vegas, and we're doing like one of these a month roughly. We go to, and then we're doing in September. We are going to
Madison, Wisconsin, and Minneapolis, September 6th and 7th, and we'll probably do some more dates in that area too.
Yeah. So if you go to ronplacone.com or grahamelwood.com, you can get tickets.
What's the most fun that you're having on this tour?
Getting laid, right? There's you go in there with this. I was at a Bernie rally, and it was just oozing with like-minded people. You know, you see them face to face, and they're like, I know we're on the same page. They're half naked.
It's cool. It's honestly, I've been a stand-up comic since I was 18. I've done 300 episodes of TV, and walking into a room full of people that not just know us because of our YouTube stuff, but just are so down with us politically that it's a bunch of left-wing, fired up progressive socialists who are, that is the coolest part. And it's like, I've done this so long, but to have these people, they're like, thanks for saying that, telling your story and fighting for, I mean, like that's really, it's really awesome.
You guys have a good sense of humor about it, even though we're all dead. And that's
Yeah,
nice.
you got it. That's what you got to do.
You gotta laugh on your way out.
There you go.
Yeah.
We're all going to die.
Ron Placone online, Twitter and Instagram. Ron, Placone, the website, ronplacone.com. And the streaming news show is Get Your News On with Ron.
Yep. Yeah, it's a fun time.
And if you were born with a different name, it wouldn't have rhymed.
I know.
It just worked out.
It did work out.
Yes. Thank you guys very much. Shout out to my dad. We'll talk to you tomorrow.